Oh hey, are you a big fan of water? Alright, well I'm not talking about the kind you can drink, but maybe you're a boating family, or you'd like to swim, or just spend a lot of time around the water? If you're hoping your canine companion's gonna join you on those outings, this video is for you. Now you're probably thinking, wait, don't all dogs love water? Believe it or not, they don't. Just like not all dogs love neighborhood walks, and not all dogs love playing fetch. Some of them just say, thanks, but no thanks to the wet stuff. But you don't know until you try. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to introduce your puppy to water to see if she likes it or not. Now there's no guarantees, but these steps that I'm gonna talk about, I want you to take it nice and slow. You're gonna slowly start to increase the chances that your pup's gonna go along with you if you do it this way. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. What are you waiting for? Go ahead, click that subscribe button so you get notified when my next video goes live. I have some great ones lined up for you guys. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Now, if you've watched any of my online course videos, you know Pickles. He's the star of the show. He's my demo dog, and he's happy to participate while I film all of the amazing training games. Well, he's back again today to show you how to introduce water to your dog. Believe it or not, I've actually never introduced Pickles to water. Well, of course he's had baths and grooming, but that's a different context. This is water for play and for fun. I'm gonna show you how we did it and what he thought. But first, I wanna go over a few key points here about water that you're gonna wanna understand. Like I said before, some dogs may never be fans of water, but you might be able to desensitize them of the bathing process. That could be as far as they go. So some dogs are just not built for swimming, and they may not find it easy or comfortable. Brachycephalic dogs, like pugs, are much more likely to give swimming a hard pass. It probably feels like a lot of work for them for a little bit of return. Alright, they may like water, but only in very small quantities, maybe just wading pools or puddles. That's part of what you, the human, are gonna do. You're gonna introduce water in such a small and non-intrusive way that you can determine what part of water, if any, your dog likes. You know what we're never gonna do? I'm talking like never ever. We're never gonna throw a dog in and expect them to swim. Believe me, I have seen this done. I actually had a client who consulted with me about her sweet basset hound. He was super scared of the water. I asked if something had happened, and he said that his previous owner had tossed him in some water to help him learn how to swim. The other dog in the family, a lab, actually jumped in after him. The lab knew that the poor basset hound was just not cut out for swimming. The lab bounded out of the water easily, but the basset needed some help. He must have been so scared. This crazy foreign wet stuff, and not being able to get out of it. Yikes! You can imagine how he was never a fan of water after that. And another thing we never do. Please do not use water as an aversive technique to stop a bad behavior. Sometimes in my Facebook group, Puppy Training with Michele Lennon, we'll get some commenting on a post about biting. Now, even though a professional from my team will always provide a well-educated and well-thought-out answer, sometimes other people like to chime in with some not so great advice. An example of this is when people say to use a spray bottle when a puppy's biting to make them stop. Please don't do this. Not only is this not the way to address this normal behavior of biting, but you can actually create a lifelong fear of water. Can you imagine all the grooming appointments if your dog is fearful of water? Now, this may not end well for your dog or the groomer. Now, if you need help with biting, check out one of my other great videos like this one or this one. Believe me, there's a better way to address biting and still avoid the squirt bottle. Okay, I'm gonna show you a video of Pickles and I working together on the introduction of water. Now I want you to know a few things first. One, your dog might take longer in this process, or she may go much faster. Now, although Pickles hasn't been introduced to water before, he's a very confident dog and he loves to train with me. So he's quite compliant. Now, your dog's temperament is different and your results may be different as well. This is why I have an entire online course to teach things like leash skills, recall, leave it, drop it, stay, and a ton more. Now, I'm talking about more than 50 videos that go over all these skills in a small, systematic way that's fun to teach your dog. Now, it would be a disservice to try to teach you all those things in just one short video. I know some trainers insist they can do it, But that's not me. That's not how we roll here at How to Train a Dream Dog. I want you to understand your dog so well that you have lasting success in all different environments for a lifetime. All right, back to water. Another great tip on this introduction is your dog might be ready to start further along in the process than Pickles did. You're gonna see how I used a dry towel to begin the process with Pickles, but your dog might have already had the sensation of wet paws, maybe in the grass or puddles. Now, I just wanted to show you the whole process in case you needed to begin at the very beginning. Whatever you do, I suggest you start with something really fun and really easy that gives your dog a better chance of success. And that's what we're looking for, the best chance of success. Okay, let's get to it. Roll tape. Okay, you can see Pickles and I here working, and I'm just trying to get him to step on a dry towel right now. I'm going to reward him anytime he puts one or more paws on the towel. And I'm going to have him come off the towel and then back on, which is going to reinforce that the towel is the key place where the treats are given. You can see he's doing it really enthusiastically here. I'm going to switch it up in just a minute to add water, but right now we're just trying to get him to step on this towel here in this context. He keeps looking up at me for the treat, which means he's getting the idea, so we're going to be able to move on to the next step. Notice I'm sprinkling the treats on the towel as well. That way he can look for them, find them, and still stay on the towel with those paws, which is what I'm looking for. All right, so the next thing we're going to do here in just a moment is put some physical barriers up that are gonna help him. Nope, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna add water first. That's the whole purpose for this video, right? So we're gonna add the water onto the towel. I'm just gonna saturate the snot out of that, make it really soggy and wet. And then we're gonna go back to the sequence that we were doing before, where I lure him on to the towel. I reinforce for being on it. And then I'll add some barriers, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So again, he steps on it, he gets the reinforcement, he comes off of it, I don't give the reinforcement. So I'm putting more value on being on the towel. So here I am luring him, I'm trying to keep the treat close to his nose. I'll sprinkle some kibble on the towel as well. That way he has to kind of find it while he's standing on the towel. I'm trying to get those back legs up there as well. He's like, what do you want me to do, Mama? There we go. He's really getting it now. We do this several times. And in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out too, I'm watching his body language. Is he still participating? Is he checking out? Does he need to, stop? But he seems pretty excited about this. He keeps looking up at me, which I know that's his indicator that he is good to go. And as you can see there, I put some more treats on the towel so that he can still stand on it while it's wet and get some reinforcement. All right, now we've got the physical barriers up. So this is how I'm going to start to shape his behavior to stay on the towel just a little bit longer. So rather than using the leash to pull him, I use some minor physical barriers to help him, to guide him along, and he's going to avoid stepping off of it then because those boxes are there. With the addition of the boxes, I need to probably take a step back with my expectations and go back to just luring rather than just asking him to do something. That's also very normal in this process. So when something, you can see he accidentally stepped in it. He's a very clumsy puppy when he's first learning things, but I just adjusted by moving the box and flipping it over. I made the task a little bit easier for him. He's also used to stepping on things. It's part of training that we do to teach him to step up on something, so I'm not surprised that he did that. I'm slowly working my way, like stepping away from him to see if he'll come off the towel, and as you can see, he was staying on it even longer, and then of course he hopped back up on the box again. All right, it is time to introduce the pool. As you can see, there is absolutely no water in it. But what I'm doing first is reinforcing for coming near the pool. Just being near the pool means you get good things. Now, as you can see, I kind of sprinkled some treats into the pool, and I'm gonna give him the treats in it and then lure him out. I really want to make sure that I focus on only giving the treats in the pool though, because that's where the value is. Being inside the pool is where I want him to hang out and stay. I'm going to start to sprinkle some treats in here around, so he's got to step on that surface, which makes a different sound than he's used to. So for some dogs, this is pretty scary when they hear that scratching of their nails on the bottom of a pool. So for you guys, you can just take the treats and sprinkle them in there. Let your dog walk around. Again, no water in here. We took the pressure of the sensation of water away, and we're just focused on giving treats in the pool and making a positive association with this thing. We're going to eventually fill it up, so hang tight. All right, I'm going to see if I can get him out, and you can see he's almost not, he doesn't want to get out because I've put more value on being in the pool. Let's see what he does. That's a good boy. Okay, you can see no water. Now I'm just going to put some toys in it. So there's just some toys that he absolutely loves, and then some ball pit balls. I'm going to pour those in there. I know these are things he's used in other contexts, other situations, so I know he has a positive association with them, and this is another way that you can introduce something that might be scary to your dog by using familiarity. In this case, it is the toys that he's already used to. So he's like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a second, there's kibble inside the pool here. This is cool. They're among my toys that I'm familiar with. Loving it. He really enjoyed this. I was pretty happy with him. I should say really happy with him, not pretty, really happy. He liked playing. This is something you can do too without even adding water. You can just get a kiddie pool and put ball pit balls in it and then sprinkle your dog's kibble or some tasty treats in there. It's a great enrichment activity. All right, he's still gonna do this for a few more minutes. I'm gonna try to get him out of the pool. I grabbed one of his favorite toys, I tossed it back in. So the concept behind this is just helping him learn to get in and out of it, in and out of the pool. Because again, eventually the water is going to be in there, and I'm going to encourage him to get in and out of the pool with the water in it. All right, here we go. We're going to take that wet towel, the soaking wet towel, we're going to put it in the kiddie pool. So now again, layer one or phase one was introducing the dry towel, then we added water to it. Now we're adding the watered down towel to the pool. And he's going to be able to step on that. And again, because of all the other familiarity and positive association, he's not going to have any issues with this. You can see he's immediately like, let's do this. He ran right to it. And now subconsciously, he feels the wet water, the wet towel under his feet, but he's still walking around sniffing and checking things out, still looking for treats and still making positive associations. I'm sprinkling some treats throughout. I'm also moving around. So as I move, this encourages him to move his feet, move in different directions, step on and off the wet towel. I'm going to see if I back up and give him space, will he be drawn to me? There he is. Very good. But where does he want to go? Back to the pool. Why? Because more value was put on being in the pool than being out of the pool. So here I am just reinforcing for him, moving around again on that towel in the pool. Notice that shake off. Did you see that shake off that he did? This is a really good indicator that, you know, our pup had overstimulation. Let me pause this for a second. So overstimulation, he shakes it off. That's your dog's way of kind of resetting. All right, here I am making a positive association with the water being turned on. I'm not even putting it in the pool. I'm just turning it on. I'm giving a treat. I'm immediately turning it off. So turning it on, reinforcing or giving him positive reinforcement while it's on without it being added to the pool is just helping to make a positive association instead of just starting to spray it in there. So some dogs who are sound sensitive or anything they touch, they could be kind of sensitive to. We're not going to spook him or startle him by immediately just throwing water in there. One thing I want you to do when you're doing this, be observant of your environment. As you can tell, this was a pretty windy day. And my Great Dane would not have done so well here. She actually would have been pretty spooked by all the wind. I was also paying attention because the neighbors were out. So I wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to be a problem. Now, as you can see, I'm slowly starting to fill up the pool. He's batting the balls around. He's trying to find the treats. His little paws are getting wet. He's feeling comfortable with it. He's trying to look for one of the treats that I dropped in there. You can see the water is off to the side. I am not spraying him. I know you might be tempted to just spray your dog. Some dogs, this would freak them out. They would get out of the pool and never want to go back in again. So I would recommend that you just go slow with this process. Again, some dogs, like our labs, might be, water dogs immediately see a puddle and want to get in, while other dogs like this, our Cavalier, would go much slower. So I'm just going to encourage him to move around and play. He really did enjoy this. I was so, I gave him tons of love-ins afterwards. I was so proud of him. The water's pretty cold as well, which is one of the reasons he's not moving around as much. Yes, it's wet, it's different, but he is at no time jumping out of the pool, indicating that he's had enough. He still wants to stay in. He's batting the balls around. He's trying to get at the kibble that keeps floating by him. Tail is wagging at a nice, even, it's not super high, it's not super low and tucked, it's nice and even in the middle there. That's an indicator that he's comfortable. All right, we're gonna try to get him out of the pool so we can wipe his paws off and end the session. He seems to continue to want to go back to the pool though. He wants to get back in. Oh, he's stretching, and then he puts all paws in. I love it. This is a great indicator. You gotta watch your dog's body language. If they put on the brakes and they say no thanks, we have to respect that. We can't just plop them in there and go, you can do this, get over your fear. All right, here we go. We're gonna try to wipe his paws again. Now, at this point, we were a little close to the pool. So he was like, but mama, the pool is right there. I wanna go back. So we ended up moving a little bit away from the pool so that we could really wipe his paws off and end the session. And even though he might have still wanted to go for this, I didn't want him to get to a point of overstimulation, and I certainly didn't want to have a negative association, so we ended. Notice I'm wiping his paws and I'm giving him a treat while doing so. He is a little, again, more sensitive with his paws, so I want to make sure that's a positive association. Who doesn't love all the love-ins? Pickles sure does. Okay, did you like what I did there? Pickles and I love to work together. Sometimes we do it for training purposes, like this situation. Or other times, I just like to try something new. So I'll think up a new skill and Pickles and I will get to work on it. Someday, I'll tell you all about the time I trained him to lift his leg for a potty training video I was filming. That was a hoot. Okay, now that you've watched this slow and steady introduction to water, you can apply these same concepts to introducing other new things to your dog. Just remember these key points. Start when nothing is happening. That means no water. Take baby steps forward in the process. Evaluate your dog's interest in continuing. Take a step back when adding new things. Watch the environment for added distractions. And when your pup says, all done. I think if you follow these tips and you have fun with it, it's going to be a great session. Did you love that session on water? If you loved this, you're gonna love my online course. It's filled with videos just like this one, me working with Pickles or sometimes one of my other dogs, and telling you how you can teach your dog the same skills. Through these training games, you're building a relationship with your dog. You're developing a common language and also tiring out his mental and physical energy. That's a win-win in my book. Now, I'd love to hear about your work with water and your pup. You can share your experience in my Facebook group, Puppy Training with Michele Lennon. In the comments below, tell me if you've already introduced your dog to water, how did it go? And will you do it any differently now that you've seen this video?